Hi, I'm Bonnie. I'm the Director for Housing Justice Cymru, which is the Welsh arm of Housing Justice. Thank you so much for being here today and for going through this video with us for our Citadel programme. We hugely appreciate your offer of support, and your role as a volunteer in this programme will make it possible for us to support vulnerable people and to make sure that they're not going back to homelessness. Housing Justice Cymru is the Christian voice for housing and homelessness need in Wales. Our mission is to mobilise Christian action on homelessness and housing need through love, justice, nurture and advocacy. And our vision is for a society where everybody has a home that meets their needs. Our projects include things like Citadel, but we also run projects that actually build and develop houses to increase the supply of affordable homes in Wales. Our Faith in Affordable Housing programme is our unique project that helps us to bring together churches and social housing providers to look at how we can identify derelict land and buildings within the church and create more affordable homes in Wales. We're absolutely passionate about ending homelessness, and we know that there aren't enough affordable homes, so we see this as a vital contribution to increasing affordable home supply throughout Wales.
I think for a long time the church has wanted to do things and yet not always had the means, the finances, or perhaps the ideas of how we could help.
What we've done here at Birchgrove is we've redeveloped the site to provide 4 bungalows on part of the land that was previously undeveloped.
We're going to start this morning by looking at some of the reasons that people end up experiencing homelessness. And there are huge misconceptions around homelessness and the causes of it, and also the impact of actually experiencing homelessness. So we wanted to give you just a bit of background which might help us to work better and understand the people that we're supporting. So homelessness is a significant issue throughout the UK. And we know that rough sleeping is often what people associate with homelessness, but actually rough sleeping in Wales only accounts for 7% of the total number of people that are experiencing homelessness at one time. So it's really important for us to understand who it's affecting, why it's affecting them, and how that's happened to be. So there are many life events that can impact on someone becoming homeless, such as the breakdown of a relationship, the loss of a job, a change in family circumstances. We also know that domestic abuse is a significant problem, particularly for women who could end up fleeing their home and again become homeless. We know there are people in our communities that are more likely and more susceptible to experience homelessness. So now I'm going to go on to talk about some of the causes of homelessness. And a key factor is adverse childhood experiences. These are adversities that some children face during their early years. They can include mental health problems within the house, parental use of alcohol and drugs, a parent being incarcerated, domestic abuse within the home, and so on. And we know that unfortunately, due to extensive research that's been done in Wales, there are a significant number of people that have had these experiences. But crucially, when you've had 4 or more of these experiences in your childhood, you are significantly more likely to go on to have health-harming behaviours, chronic disease and early death, as well as mental health problems. So it's really important for us to understand the journey that some people have been on. So now we're just going to show a short film produced by Public Health Wales as part of the evidence base that they've developed, and it will explain the impact of adverse childhood experiences, also known as ACEs, on someone's life course.
My parents don't understand. All the drinking and fighting means I'm scared. I'd like a cuddle, perhaps a bedtime story, but mostly I'd like them to stop shouting at me, and sometimes they hit me. Feeling scared every day and not feeling loved or wanted will change me for the rest of my life. Later, I'll have problems with school, problems with alcohol, and I'll get in trouble with the police. What's happening to me right now means I'm more likely to have serious health problems in middle age and die sooner than I should. Doctors say my life is full of adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. But in my world, this means I see my dad hitting my mum. Dad's got a drinking problem, and mum's always crying, even with the tablets. I'm always being shouted at and hit. After the booze and fags, there's not a lot of money for toys or clothes, or even food. I'm getting used to being scared all the time, but now I'm just angry. Doctors say things are changing inside me. My brain isn't learning how to control my feelings properly. My body can't relax like those kids who don't have ACEs, so my body won't be able to repair itself properly when I get older, making it more likely I'll get cancer or heart disease as an adult. It hurts when my parents hit me, but the real damage is hidden, and that damage will be with me for life.
I drink and smoke. They say I'm out of control, but I'm not. It's just my way of coping with my ACEs. I've been in plenty of fights, but what's wrong with that? Kids' punches don't hit half as much as when my dad hits me. I beat up a kid last week at school because he looked at me weird. Who cares? I ended up with more time out of school. Learning's not for me anyway, and the teachers don't care any more than my parents. I don't like the way anyone looks at me except my girl. She's 16 and pregnant, just like my mum was with me.
So this is where I've ended up. I've got diabetes and cancer is probably on the way. I know these kill you, but I couldn't do without them. I've never had a proper job and I've spent time inside. I hit my kids. I hit their mum too, until she left. So my kids have grown up with ACEs. And now my daughter had her first kid. She's 16. The course of my life was set in the wrong direction a long time ago. I know where I'm heading, and sadly I know where my kids are heading too. This doesn't have to happen. A little help in childhood makes a big difference to where life takes you. When I was a baby, the nurses noticed that my mum wasn't coping and helped her and explained how important my childhood is to the rest of my life. So, with a bit of help, she coped. The police came round after next door complained about the noise from Mum and Dad fighting. They asked how I was feeling. I told them I was scared all the time. Mum and Dad got help, the shouting got better and the hitting stopped. I even got some bedtime stories. I still had problems at school, but the teacher asked me about what was happening at home. I got help controlling my feelings. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough. I'm now married with 2 children and I've got a job. Most of the time. I haven't repeated the same problems with my kids. We got help when being a parent got too much. Our children are ACE-free, and that means their kids stand a good chance of growing up ACE-free as well. Almost half the people in England and Wales experienced 1 ACE as a child, and 1 in 10 of us suffered 4 or more ACEs. If we stop ACEs, millions of children would not become smokers or binge drinkers, and levels of violence in adults would be cut in half. Fewer ACEs in childhood also means fewer adults developing diseases like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes in middle age. We all need to be ACE aware. Are you? Doctors, police, nurses, teachers, firefighters, and most importantly, parents. The more you know about ACEs, the more you can help stop children growing up with ACEs in their lives. And for those of you who have already suffered ACEs, the more you know, the more you can help yourself and others who have suffered ACEs cope.
We know that individuals with higher ACE counts have lower overall resilience. However, resilience can be gained, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people by being that trusted adult, which has been shown to make a significant difference to people's lives by having the trustworthiness, the companionship and the compassion and our unconditional support. We really can start to build people's resilience and build strength within individuals. The term Citadel means a stronghold or a fortress, so we're going to be looking at what matters to people.
I shop with food vouchers and maybe getting back into work.
Standing orders and things like that.
So we'll be training up our volunteers to work with individuals to understand what matters to them, and in a strengths-based approach we'll be helping them to achieve their goals.
I want to do business and gardening.
Individuals can be helped to find meaningful employment, to be connected to the community, to start a new hobby, or even advocacy where needed. And we'll work around the individual to make sure that the support is tailored to them and their needs.
They helped us out in so many ways, and I didn't think churches do such a thing until I went there myself, and I was like, cheers! Well, lovely churches, Citadel has helped me with food hamper, microwave, toaster. They're going to help me get furniture.
So we know that Citadel is needed. We've spoken at length to the people that we've worked with, and 82% of them said that they wanted further support. We know that there's an overwhelming need for that support around tenancies and committing to those tenancies and being able to maintain them, particularly in the 2nd to 6th month of a new tenancy. And that's when we'll be there to support that individual through that difficult time.
It's the little things that pleases me, you know. It's the little things that I need help with that I shouldn't struggle with, but I do.
Well, they've done so good for me that I want to repay back in somehow. At some time, I don't know when they are ready for me, but I'm ready to help them.
So the aim of the Citadel project is for us to train volunteers to work with people who have experienced homelessness or at risk of homelessness, to help these people maintain their tenancies. So we know that when people come into a new home for the first time, that there are lots of things that most of us might take for granted, such as setting up direct debits, finding your local amenities, GP, dentist, so on. And even practical steps such as putting up curtains or plumbing in your washing machine. But for some people, these things can be very daunting if you haven't had that experience before and if you don't have a support network to help you. Furthermore, people will often in this situation be moving into a new community where they don't know anybody and don't have any family or friends. So this is when Housing Justice and hopefully you as our wonderful volunteers will be helping these vulnerable people. Citadel means a stronghold or a fortress. So the aim of the project is to help match volunteers with individuals who need support to find that strength within themselves. So we'll be looking at what is working for that person, what's good in their life, what strengths they have, and we'll build upon those, helping them with practical steps and emotional support along the way. So what we'll be asking for is for people to sign up. We'll call on you as and when needed, and the amount of time that you give is up to you. But we'll be asking for short, quick help fixes for people, such as delivering a food parcel from a food bank or sourcing household items from charities, and helping people to really set up their home so that they've got a safe and comfortable place to live. We'll be matching people with individuals to provide an ongoing relationship for an hour a week for a period of about 3 to 6 months. And these relationships will help to support the individual while they're in those crucial early months of sustaining their tenancies. And we know that often tenancies can break down, and when that happens, it's between the 2nd and 6th month. So that's why Citadel is specifically focused on matching people and helping people through that crucial time. You'd be meeting the person, as I said, for 1 hour a week, ideally in a cafe or a public place. And we'll help you to know what that can look like, the conversations that you can have, the help that you can provide. But on a very basic and human level, it is about showing our values and our kindness and nurture and support for vulnerable people who need to know that somebody's there and that we care and that we will support them on their journey. We know that Citadel is needed. We know that during the COVID-19 pandemic, nearly 900 people across Wales were moved in to emergency and temporary accommodation. But now those people are being reallocated tenancies, and for some that will be the first time, and they're moving into new tenancies with possibly very little experience of how to manage a home. So we have spoken to our partners, Welsh Government, local authorities, but most importantly, the people that we support. And overwhelmingly, they've said that they want further support once they've obtained their own accommodation. They do feel overwhelmed, sometimes isolated, and having that support is absolutely crucial to maintaining their tenancy and giving them the best chance at starting that new life. A survey was carried out recently of 152 people who had experienced homelessness, and over 90% said they wanted further support. So we know it's needed, and you're needed, because we know that this can make a significant difference to a lot of people's lives. So this training will cover some of the essentials that you need to know before becoming a Citadel volunteer. But as you progress through being a Citadel volunteer, we'll offer further training along the way. But some of the key things that we need to understand before we start are safeguarding. Understanding an individual's risk can often be a gut feeling. There are clear signs that we should be looking out for, such as people becoming uncharacteristically withdrawn, unexpected financial issues, signs of physical abuse, and of course any disclosures around any other forms of abuse that they may be suffering. And that's not exhaustive. There may be many other symptoms and signs, but often it will be a gut feeling that something within the person that you know and are supporting has changed. And that's what we're asking you to look out for, and to contact your Citadel coordinator at the earliest opportunity whenever you think something may be wrong or that something harmful may be happening to the person you're supporting. Even if you're not sure, just pick up the phone and give us a call, because that's something that we can work with together to help look at the safeguarding risks for the individuals we're supporting. It's obviously vital that when we work with people that are vulnerable and are looking to us for support, that we protect the information that they share with us. The only times that we wouldn't do this is if they tell us that they are thinking about causing harm to themselves or another person. And of course, in these situations, contact your Citadel coordinator immediately. You don't need to share all of the information with your Citadel coordinator. Some of it will be private and personal to the individual you're supporting and the relationship you have with them. The only time that you would share information is, as I said, when there is harm being proposed to the individual himself or to another person. However, if for some reason you think that there is a serious current risk at the time, then please dial 999 and report it immediately to the emergency services. On the whole, your relationship with the individual you're supporting will be based on trust and honesty, and maintaining that through the confidentiality of your conversations is really important. The relationship that you build up with the people that we're supporting will be absolutely key to the success of the project and to that person building a life and sustaining their tenancy. And we know that you're going to make great listeners. The fact that you've signed up as volunteers and the values that you share show that your skills and your empathy are right. We urge you to listen to the individual and to let them lead the conversation and let them steer the path. We're not here to fix anybody or to determine how and where people's journeys should go. One of the really vital things about getting Citadel right is setting boundaries and expectations at the earliest point, and your Citadel coordinator will help you do that at the initial meetings with the person you're supporting. And again, a lot of them are common sense and things that will feel right to you. We know that we have asked you to meet people outside in a public, safe place. You should be aware that we never ask you to exchange money with the individual. We ask that you don't become friends outside of the Citadel support network, because the last thing we want to do is create dependencies. If after volunteering with Citadel you go on to form a friendship with that individual, then that would be absolutely fantastic. However, during Citadel, we ask that you stick to the times agreed so that we don't create too much dependency for the people that we're supporting. We also ask that you don't befriend the person or join them on social media, and we ask that you don't take photographs and post those anywhere, and only talk about it with your Citadel coordinator and not family or friends. So in managing expectations, it's really important that from the start we're clear that we will be consistent and stable support, that we'll be friendly but not friends, that we will be professional and trustworthy, and authentic in the empathy that we provide. So following the training that you've seen today, your Citadel coordinator will contact you and set up a one-to-one meeting to help understand any further information that we need to share with you before matching you with an individual. During this process, we'll be able to understand what skills you bring, what passions you have, and what time commitment you're able to give. Following that meeting with the Citadel coordinator, we'll then be introducing you to individuals that you'll be supporting, and that will also be done with the Citadel coordinator. Moving forward, you'll be having some time with the Citadel coordinator each month for any questions, queries, to check how it's progressing, and that will be an opportunity for you to check in and raise any concerns you might have, or to take on more volunteering if you want. So one of the other things that we'll be offering our Citadel volunteers is the opportunity to come together on approximately a monthly basis for a reflective practice session, which will give us the opportunity to come together to discuss our experiences, to share some stories, to increase the learning, and to have the support from each other as we're going through this journey. That will allow you as volunteers to build a network and have us there to support you along the way. We'll also use that opportunity to do some additional training, such as listening skills or advocacy, and we'd be more than happy to take any requests you have for areas that you feel that you might like to enhance your learning. You can contact us at any time and we'll keep in touch with you. We're hugely grateful for you offering to volunteer for this opportunity. We know the difference this will make to people's lives. We know that they've asked for it, that they need it, and there are people out there right now that need this support from you, and to know that there are people that care and will help, not because they have to, but because they want to. We can't thank you enough for being a volunteer with Housing Justice, and we hope that you enjoy this opportunity as much as we think you will.